This is Moments with Fu with James Fu Torres, better known as Fu, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Fu is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Fu.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Fu. I'm your host, James Fu Torres, but you can call me Fu, hence the name of the podcast. And today I have Richard Kaufman. He's called the Comeback Coach. He's a two-time best-selling author and a podcast host for a podcast that's ranked in the top 1% of all podcasts in the world by Listen Notes. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. But Richard, first, let us know how you're feeling today.
Brother, welcome. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so blessed and honored. You've been on my show twice, so I'm just glad to be on your show once.
Yeah, I think we skipped. I don't think we did once. I don't know if we did two. Did we do like a live stream or something? I don't remember.
Well, we did one with audio only when I first started, and then we did one with StreamYard.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting. So like I forgot about that part, but yeah, like I mean I was on your show and I got people like tell me about it and reach out to me and things. So hopefully we can get you some exposure here and get you to share some good advice and actionable tips for business owners. But before we get into that, give us a quick introduction about yourself and what you're focusing on right now.
All right. I'm a United States Army veteran with 23 years and a retired veteran, podcast host of the Vertical Momentum podcast, two-time best-selling author, like you mentioned. Podcast is in the top 0.5% of all podcasts in the world. And the podcast focuses on how to teach business owners to be resilient, especially, with COVID that came down, and how to come back, even if you lost your business, how to come back and start a new one and make it an even stronger business.
And that's why you're the comeback coach, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, I've worked with players from the NFL, Major League Baseball, WWE, NBA, MLB. So I work with a lot of people to come back physically and mentally.
Amazing. So given that's your specialty about that resilience and coming back from being down for whatever reason, what are some actionable tips and advice that you have for business owners or just people in general that are looking to bounce back?
Well, I think first of all, you got to take an inventory of where you are. That's the most important thing. And then you got to find somebody that's crushing it and then find out what they're doing and then work backwards and start using the things that they're doing to become number one. So never look for the guys that are doing the same as you or a little bit better. Might as well go to the top, find out who's the top in your niche, find out what they're doing, and then start working it backward into your business.
I like that because it's good to always aim to get better. And then if you are already striving for greatness, then why just focus on a little better and obviously like 1% better every day, that it compounds, but then have those big goals and those people that you want to be like, and then create habits too that are the daily habits that you have to then work towards that big goal. So I completely resonate with that.
Yeah, I see a lot of people, they see these people that are doing great, people like in my field, Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, but they don't try to find out how they got to be that way. They're trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's been invented already. Now you just have to learn to see what they're doing and do what they're doing and add it into your repertoire.
Exactly. Just take what's already working, make your own, be authentic, right? So then, use the things that are out there, but then also give it your flavor and your authenticity and what makes you unique. So that way you have that unique selling proposition that I talk about a lot on my marketing, consulting, and fractional CMO when I'm with clients, because if you're seen as a commodity, that anybody can have you, or you don't really have that something that is unique about you, even if you're using the winning formula from other people, then you're still gonna be lacking that thing that will push people to work with you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I also agree, like my mentor, Mr. John Lee Dumas, when he sat me down and we talked, and he became my mentor. He said, you want to be successful, you have to find out who your perfect avatar is. And sometimes you have to go an inch wide, but you got to go mile deep to find out who your perfect avatar is. So I think Mr. Jim Rohn said it, I might be wrong, but he said, if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. And I think something that Hormozi says, your niche will make you rich.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's riches in the niches.
I think that, a lot of people, they start a business, but they don't really know who their perfect avatar is. So they spend a lot of their marketing budget on people that are not even going to buy their product.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's so important to, attaching back to what I was saying about that uniqueness and the unique selling proposition. What goes into that is not, oh, I invented this new thing that nobody has, is how do you go about it? And that becomes, it's attached very well with the niche and that ideal client avatar, because the way that you position yourself to serve that ideal client avatar, that's typically the uniqueness. It's not that you're doing something that nobody else is doing in this magical way. It's more of the approach that you have, because you truly understand that type of person. That's what you make it your ideal client avatar. And that's how you can serve them better than your competition, right? Because you're so, like you said, just very deep into, not very wide, right? So that's
well, something that you taught me from when you were on the show. I never really looked at my analytics until me and you talked, and then I went back, and I can tell exactly what age group is listening to my show, what gender, where they're from. But if it wasn't for talking to you, I would never realize how important following my analytics are.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad that I was able to give you some value. I always try to give that people that awareness of look at where you are right now, look at what you have of the data, where you want to be, and then connect those two with a strategic plan. And then when after you have okay, this is the thing, then what are the habits? Now that's another new thing that I started adding now. It's instead of goal setting of oh, I want to be the best podcaster. Okay, cool. That's good that you want to be the best podcaster in the world. But then what are the habits that you got to start doing every single day and work towards those small little actions? And habits is something that becomes natural, that you can just do it without thinking, right? When you can get to that, getting those habits that will compound into that goal. That's how I goal setting now. That's how I do my goal setting now. And I wanted to bring it up in here, and hopefully that helps you too.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, because for me, once I started running a calendar where everything I do, my 2 words for this year were intention and attention. And everything I do has intention. So even everything I do has blocks of time. And that was taught to me by Mr. David Meltzer, that if you block out your time, you're going to be successful. But if you don't if you don't run your schedule is going to run you.
I completely agree. That time blocking is the thing that is what every high performer time blocks. So it's one of the single most impactful things that you can do for your business and life in general. And even I was just before coming into this recording, I actually saw a video of Jason Miller saying that it is very hard as a business owner, even if you have a lot of staff, to go on vacation for 2 weeks, not look at your phone at all, and just completely disregard anything. So what he does, that he was saying in the video, is that he does time blocking, and then he blocks times where he knows is not going to affect the family experience, right? The vacation family experience. And that's when, okay, let me check Slack. Let me make sure that things are running. Let me make sure that things are, if somebody needs my attention real quick. So that way you're not completely disconnected. And then, hoping that as tight and everything that Jason really has his things with his business, he's still there's things that needs his attention. So that time blocking, even on vacation, with that, with thinking about not affecting the family part, then that's something that it was a good thing that he put things into perspective, and I thought it was a good thing to add here.
But it's also good is if you have your team built, it's not just about me. Or even if I'm vacation, I know that my Apple, my Spotify, my YouTube promoters, they're working 24 hours a day. So even if I'm at the beach hanging out with the kids, I know that the work is still being done in the background. Because if you think you can do it all, you're never going to be successful, because you can't do it all, and you need to build a team. So even if you're out for a day or two, everything is still running, and you can actually, like if I'm going away somewhere, I can actually schedule when the podcasts are going to drop. But I think if you don't have a team, it's a lot harder. If you're a one-man show, you're never going to be able to walk away from your business for any time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Always delegate. That's the only way that you can scale. It's just those little things of, adding time blocking even in those special moments. So like, look, if something needs my attention, that I want to be involved in something, just have it separated. So that's great. So how do you so when it comes to, resilience, is like that's the big word here with you, and I see it all the time. I mean, with everything that you do, what are some challenges or friction points that you typically see when you're advising your clients that to do something, regarding to bouncing back to better the business in life?
Well, for me, like I said, now I'm working with hundreds of business owners, and I've also have a lot of friends that are multi-millionaires and billionaires, like Meltzer and stuff like that. And something that I hear a lot is, well, this is the way it used to be. Well, if that's your mindset, this is the way it used to be, you're not going to be in business for very long. Like I hear everybody, oh, I got a friend, he owns a GNC, and we were talking, and he's like, yeah, well, business is slow, but I don't want to make videos. I don't want to be on camera. And I'm like, I can't help you, because that's, short form video is king right now, whether that's on YouTube Shorts, whether it's TikTok. If you're just going to continue doing business the way it used to be done, you're not going to be in business much longer. And that's coming from a 54-year-old guy that's just learning how to make videos with captions. I got to put into work so I can make sure that I'm staying ahead of everybody else. Because if you don't stay ahead, you're going to get run over. And I think that's one of the biggest problems I'm seeing is people, they're not evolving with the times.
Yeah, and that, attached perfectly with the, being resilient also includes being adaptable, right? And being in business where the world is changing so fast, you have to be able to survive. You have to be adaptable. You have to adapt to the conditions. So now, if you're not putting yourself out there, your competition is, right? And the thing about short video and long form, all like just video in general, it's such a big way of nurture, right? It's because people are seeing your face, they're seeing you communicate the message and how you do it and your expressions and all that. So people can really connect with you in a deeper level. The audio part is good, like written part is good, but then when it comes to video, now there's captions, so you're getting the written part, then you're getting the audio, right? You're listening to it, then you're also getting the video, so like you're seeing the reactions of people, the emotions that they have when they're delivering a message, and that goes such a long way, especially when you're trying to convert strangers into clients and then hopefully even advocates of your brand, because you're so good that want to tell the world about you, right? So that's what I see.
I was talking to one of the executives from YouTube, and he was telling me yesterday that 78% of people are watching YouTube at work. So if you don't have captions on, they're just going to swipe away. They're just going to keep swiping. So, just think about that. So if you don't have captions, only 20, 21 or 22% are going to actually be able to watch your video at work. So that's a big chunk. That's 78% are just going to swipe up if they don't read captions. And captions capture people. There's a reason why they have closed captionings on all TVs. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it, well, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. That's exactly what I told my video editor. I was like, hey, make sure that yes, you it's cool to have B-roll and cut some stuff, but make sure that the message is still getting conveyed even without the audio, especially in the beginning, because a lot of people, they, even if they're not on work, they have it like silenced because they're in the train, they're somewhere, and then for me, like, I decide if it's worth having the audio on after I kind of watch a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I do want to listen to this. So definitely something to have in mind for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that YouTube is either the first or second search engine. YouTube is the first or second search engine, and TikTok is now the number 3 search engine in the world. So if you're not on those 3, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, definitely. And now even so because of that, Instagram, I saw that they're gonna start doing a SEO type search engine stuff. So like now you're gonna be able to talk to type coach or marketing or whatever, and now you're gonna start having recommendations. I was checking it out, and I couldn't see it yet, like it wasn't working, but it's gonna start being a thing now, because if it's working, other people have to adapt. Even huge companies like Meta, right? Like they are being, let me adapt to what people are consuming and how they're consuming it and how they're searching for things. So.
That's why I also see a lot of business owners, they're not on LinkedIn. And a lot of people don't realize that LinkedIn, I think they're owned by Microsoft or one of the big. So yeah, when you put something on LinkedIn and write an article, it gets right into the news feeds of different Google and stuff like that. So if you're not on LinkedIn, where the money's at, that's where the big boys play.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much, so many things, different things, right? Like the different platforms, different uses. So hopefully, for people that are watching this, like, don't get overwhelmed, pick one channel and commit to one, and then expand from there. But definitely, the easiest that I found to be able to network with people is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, everybody's there they're willing to talk to strangers. It's a networking thing. So that's a great way to start. I started there, I focused there first, and that's my biggest channel. And I love Instagram, and I love even Facebook and things. Like, I still use them a lot. And when I have connections with people already, I typically talk more there, because sometimes in LinkedIn I have so much going on, right? So, but to talk to strangers, there's no better place than LinkedIn for sure.
You always have to make sure, because there's always new platforms popping up. And even like Gary Vaynerchuk said, when a new platform starts, it's easier to get on the bottom floor and become a big fish in that platform. But you got to be there. You got to go where the eyes and the attention are. So, and that's what you do. You said you make sure that people get seen.
Exactly, and everything starts with that. That uniqueness, and bringing that out and building your brand. And then now that we know that this is resonating, right? Because we do small validation, and then after it's validated, then that's where, like, okay, all we need is more eyes. Now we can go to paid traffic. Now we can go on a podcast tour. Now we can go on a TV tour. Now we can do things that we know is resonating the message. Now it's just getting it out there. That's the easy part, to be honest. As long as there's a budget, and we can work with all kinds of budgets, right? But you're ready to invest. You have something validated. You should have some money, because if it's validated, that means some people bought from you, right? So, and then that's when you go into to not waste money, because a lot of people think, oh, I need more clients. Let me just do paid ads, and I'm gonna get a bunch of clients. Like, no, you're probably gonna waste a lot of money if people are not resonating with your message. You don't have anything unique. You're just gonna scroll past it. So.
And plus, there's over 400,000 active podcasts. They're all looking for guests. So if you're not on 2 or 3 podcasts a week, that is probably one of the best ways to get your business known, is to being on podcasts, because you get to be in front of their whole audience.
That's it. And the best way to get into podcasts and to network too, like that I found in this, is that's worked for us clearly, is that being a podcaster too, right? Like being a host. of your own show, so that way you also have your own platform that you can bring people. Like you have such an amazing platform that now, being able to build relationships, with David Meltzer, with Gary, with all these different people that are so big. And it's because, you've gotten yourself out there first, and then you start creating platforms that you can add value to people. And then now you have your own platform that will gladly have you in their platform, because of, you have that, you're leading with value, which is the most important thing here.
Yeah. It's always about you. It's always about, even like Gary said, jab, 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 right hook. Make sure you throw a lot of more jabs before you throw a right hook. Because when you do throw that right hook, people are going to show up if you add enough value.
Exactly. So, any one or two takeaways you want to leave the audience with?
Be humble and be teachable. Like I think we're at episode 1,000 something, and I just picked up a book by my friend Eric Allen. He just put out a book yesterday. It was about how to become a better podcaster. I bought the book and I took 5 things away from it that I already added into my repertoire. So make sure that, no matter how big you think you are, you can always learn. And if you stay humble and stay teachable, then you're always going to be ahead of the curve, because you're willing to pick up what everybody else is laying down.
I completely agree with that. Be a lifelong student, right? There's always room for improvement. Look, it doesn't matter how much Richard here knows about podcasting. Clearly has a very successful podcast, but he also is willing to keep taking advice and implementing stuff that he learned, because he took the chance to learn from that person, right, from that book. So yeah. It's a very important thing. That's very good. So just here before wrapping this up, what type of people, who you're looking to connect with, and how can people find you?
I'm looking to connect with anybody that's struggling mentally, physically, spiritually, or financially, because no matter if you're a CEO or if you're the janitor, we all struggle with the same stuff. And whether you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you have more money, so you got more problems. Yeah. So that's why I'm looking to anybody that's struggling. I'm looking to get in touch with them. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, they could just go into their search bar, type in Vertical Momentum. We are on the first 7 pages of Google. We have everything on the first 7 pages. So you can find me on all 14 of my different platforms.
Yeah. So just in case you don't know how to spell Richard Kaufman, which I struggle with sometimes, you can just type Vertical Momentum. Pretty easy. Yeah. You find the podcast from there. You're going to get whatever you want to get, because pretty sure you have all the, all the links attached to that, right? In the description, all that. So you heard it. So pretty easy to find, just Vertical Momentum, Google that. And if you're struggling, you want help, especially, we're veterans. So if you're a veteran business owner that want to tap into community, we're part of a big, like over 16,000 veteran business owners that we have in a group in Facebook. So feel free to reach out, veteran or not. But just want to say that distinction.
To Vet Tribe, and we are on Facebook. We have 16.5 thousand veteran business owners. So, and we're all there to help you guys out. We're all there to grow.
Exactly. So I think it's Vetpreneur or Vet Tribe, right? Yeah. So Vetpreneur. So if you're a Vetpreneur, definitely join us. We'd love to have you. So again, thanks for taking the time to be here. I think this is great conversation. A lot of good stuff in here. And if you want to learn more about what I do, what Richard does, just reach out to us. We'll have to assist you. So thank you for taking the time, Richard.
Love you, brother.
So this is Richard Kaufman and Fu, and this is us signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Fu with your host, Fu. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.